The crash cost a young woman her life, and it could cost a police officer his job. He could even go to jail for it, and it definitely could cost APD and the city in court. In other words, the stakes are very high. So why did the Sheriff's Department turn down help from the state's top law enforcement agency when it was investigating an Albuquerque police officer's crash that killed that young woman? Kim Holland gets answers. She's on special assignment.
Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies took the lead on the APD crash that happened here at Paseo del Norte and Eagle Ranch Road. Through a public records request, we got our hands on some information that shows that night BCSO passed up on some expertise help.
I have a laceration in my head and some chest pain. I'm not sure about the other car.
It's standard procedure for police departments to team up to investigate a fatal crash or a deadly shooting involving an officer from another agency. It helps avoid any conflict of interest and promotes an unbiased investigation. But in the early morning hours on February 10th, that teamwork didn't happen. APD Sergeant Adam Casaus sped through a red light on Paseo in his police SUV, slamming into a Honda CRV driven by 19-year-old Lindsay Browder. Casaus, who was off duty at the time, had his emergency lights on, but not his siren. It's an officer's duty to make sure an intersection is clear before they go through it. The crash seriously injured Lindsay and killed her 21-year-old sister Ashley, a member of the National Guard. State police arrived on scene that day, but most of their help was quickly dismissed. I feel like you passed up on some good equipment and some good help from state police.
Not at all. Not at all.
According to emails obtained by News 13, state police offered laser equipment to map out the crash scene after BCSO's own equipment malfunctioned. Deputies declined that help. State police offered to call the fire department to use their ladder truck to take overhead photos. BCSO declined. State police wanted to use the state's aircraft for aerial photos. Again, BCSO declined. Officers were also turned down when they offered up other measurement equipment.
I think a lot of the things that the state police were offering were just over redundant. It was stuff that, good ideas, but I don't think it was necessary to the actual investigation.
BCSO says it was also important to get this busy intersection back open again. Deputies reconstructed the crash scene a week later to fill in some of the gaps in the investigation. That is common practice. But state police felt snubbed for no reason. In an email to another officer, a state police captain wrote, "I don't like the fact that we are called to assist in making a thorough investigation, but their actions are preventing us from completing that task. I think we owe this not only to the officer, but the family of the deceased." BCSO says when the investigation is done, the case will be turned over to the district attorney's office to consider possible charges against Sergeant Adam Casaus. On special assignment, Kim Holland, KRQE News 13.
State police did not want to talk to us about this story. Sergeant Casaus told investigators he was going after a drunk driver at the time of that crash, but there are no police records or calls to back up that claim. Casaus is now on desk duty. And as it turns out, BCSO does have a connection to Casaus. His wife is a dispatcher for the Sheriff's Department.